Hello everyone, welcome to the first trading day of July. My name is JC De Guzman. This is our daily top 5 gainers and top 5 losers analysis for July 1st, 2019 in preparation for Tuesday's trading. Okay, so everything that I'm going to say here is for short-term trading purposes. Let's begin with PHA. This stock closed today at 0.91. The support that I'm seeing is at 0.78 while the immediate resistance is at 1 peso per share. The upward momentum is not yet on in a very strong level. RSI is still far from the classical overbought level. The risk level based on its historical volatility is at a moderate risk level already. The conditions of our 10 SMA and MACD combination are still true. The last price is above the volume weighted average price of 0.88. So overall, all of those things that I've mentioned contribute to my bullish assessment on PHA. The 4-point criteria are present on PHA. It's a green candlestick. That's number one. Number two, the last price is above the VWAP. Number three, we are seeing green volume bar that is higher than the 50% of PHA's 10-day volume average. And for the fourth criteria, we have, let's take a look at this, PHA. Let's see. Oh yes, the dominant range is closer to the intraday high than the intraday low, and that completes our 4-point criteria. The dominant range is between 0.87 to 0.91 in favor of the buyers. So you have the 10 SMA and MACD combo. You have the 4-point criteria. Both are perfectly present on PHA's chart. What does that mean? Do you have PHA? If yes, you have a data-driven reason to top up. Would you like to have PHA? Would you like to buy it for the first time? Then you can do a test buy. You have a data-driven reason to do that as well. Okay? Now for the new entrants, make sure that you compute your reward to risk ratio first. If you are seeing a potential reward that is acceptable for you, then you can do a test buy within that dominant range that I've mentioned when we were looking at the trade and volume distribution chart of PHA. Okay, volume is high, so you might as well want to top up and do a test buy on PHA. I'm bullish on PHA. Okay, next, CPG. CPG closed today at 0.63. The immediate support is at 0.56. How about the psychological resistance? It's in confluence with the 61.8% extension of the up Fibonacci. And where is that? It's at 0.71. Okay, that's your psychological resistance. Now, how about the 10 SMA and MACD combination? Are the conditions still true? Yes, they are. How about the 4-point criteria? Are they present? Let's check. We're seeing a green candlestick. The last price, is the last price above 0.63? It's equal, but still that's true. That condition still stands true. How about volume? Yes, the condition has been satisfied. How about the trade and volume distribution chart? Let's see. Is it closer to the intraday high than the intraday low? Yes, it is. The dominant range is between 0.62 to 0.64. How about the upward momentum? Is it very strong already? Yes, it is. How about RSI? It's still quite distant from the classical overbought level. Well, in this case, synthesizing all of these things, I would say that there's still a chance for CPG to test a 0.70, and if there's still a sizable volume once it touches 0.70, I would say there will still be a chance then to test 0.80 towards the resistance higher than 0.71, 0.71. Okay, so the question now is, if you have CPG, do I recommend that you top up? Yes, we have some data-driven reasons to do so. Do I recommend that, or do I see a data-driven reason for you to do a test buy? Yes, I do. Just make sure that you don't buy at any price. You do it within the dominant range that I've shown you. Make sure that you request for the latest trade and volume distribution chart in our private clients forum if you are going to trade any of these 10 stocks that I'm going to discuss in this video. Okay? In our private clients forum. Because the dominant range as of today's end of day are not guaranteed to be the exact same dominant ranges tomorrow. And that's the very reason why you have to request for the latest trade and volume distribution chart of the stocks that you are trading inside our private clients forum. Okay? So I am bullish on CPG. Next, CHP. This stock closed today at 3.02. Support, the immediate support is at 2.88. Psychological resistance or the historical resistance is at 3.61 or 3.6. What's the status of our 10 SMA and MACD combination? It remains true. The price is above the 10 SMA, MACD is above the signal line. How about the presence of our 4-point criteria? Are they present? Let's check. We're seeing a green candlestick. Volume is higher than the 50% of CHP's 10-day volume average. The last price is above the VWAP of 2.99. And let's take a look at the trade and volume distribution chart. Yes, it is in favor of the buyers, closer to the intraday high than the intraday low. And the dominant range is between 2.95 all the way to 3.03, 2.95 to 3.03 in favor of the buyers. Do I see a strong upward momentum? Yes, I do. Is RSI distant from the classical overbought level? Yes, it is. So there's still more room for a CHP to test higher prices higher than 3.02 or maybe higher than 3.15. Okay? Your resistance is at 3.61. Take note of that, especially you guys who are just about to enter a new position on CHP. Why? Do I see some data-driven reasons for you to do a test buy? Well, based on my analysis, yes, I do see some data-driven reasons that will support the idea of doing a test buy on CHP. And of course, that includes the idea of topping up if you still have or if you have had CHP for short-term trading purposes. I am bullish on CHP. Next, we have VUL. Vulcan closed today at 1.63. The immediate support is at 1.44. The immediate resistance is at 1.91. What's the condition of our 10 SMA and MACD combination? It's still true. It's still present. How about the 4-point criteria? Are they all present? Let's check. Is it the green candlestick? Check. Did it close above the VWAP of 1.6? Check. Is the volume bar green? And is it higher than the 10 days? The stocks, is it higher than the 50% of the stock's 10-day volume average? Yes, it is. How about the trade and volume distribution chart? Is the dominant range closer to the intraday high than the intraday low? Yes, it is. And the dominant range is between 1.59 to 1.63. Okay? How's the strength of the upward momentum? It is very strong. I'd like to remind you that RSI is approaching the classical overbought level already. It's about 4 points away from reaching that. So if you have had VUL, make sure that you keep your eyes on your trailing stop loss. Do I see a data-driven reason to preempt your trailing stop loss? No, not yet. That's too early. It's too early to ask that question. Okay. How about for those who are planning to enter a new position, to enter a new trade on VUL? Consider one thing. The RSI is closer to the classical overbought level already. But if you would like to, you can still do a test buy, provided you are happy with the potential reward at 1.91 and with your potential risk near 1.44. Well, of course, if 1.44 is above the trailing stop loss that you're going to compute with respect to the percentage of risk tolerance that you can afford to apply in this trade. Okay? So I am not 100% confident to suggest to our to the new entrants, especially for the newbies, okay, for you to trade VUL because RSI is closer to the classical overbought level already. But if you are an experienced trader already, you can choose to snub or ignore the position of RSI and enter in a position within the dominant range provided you are on top of your trailing stop loss. And of course, you should have the time to monitor the movement of prices by the second. If you have a daytime job or if you have a business that consumes your time during the trading hours in the Philippines, you need to contemplate. You have to choose. Should you choose short-term trading or whatever it is that makes you busy, a job or a business? The answer is yours. Okay? But overall, I'm bullish on VUL. Next, we have CLI. CLI closed today at 5.04. The immediate support is at 4.69. I'm looking at 5.11 as your immediate resistance. Now, what if it breaks above 5.11? No problem. The next resistance is at 5.41. Is it a psychological resistance? No, it's still a historical resistance at 5.41. What's the status of the 10 SMA and MACD combination? Is it true? Well, the price is above the 10 SMA. How about MACD? MACD is showing us a bullish convergence with the signal line, and looks like it's already it already crossed above the signal line. So if you are looking for stocks with a freshly met 10 SMA and MACD combos conditions, then CLI is one of those. Okay, CLI is one of those stocks, especially with this gigantic volume for today. What does this mean? If you are eyeing CLI for short-term trading purposes, I am seeing some data-driven reasons for you to go ahead and do so. Besides, the positive DMI has also already crossed above the negative DMI, and RSI is still relatively far from the classical overbought level. And another good thing about it, CLI has a low risk level based on its historical volatility score of 37%. As always, before you decide to push that button, guys, I'm talking to the new entrants. Calculate your reward to risk ratio first. You can choose 5.41 as your resistance level whenever you calculate your reward to risk ratio. Okay? Make sure that you know where your trailing stop loss is. Don't just be very good when it comes to buying. Make sure you are also very good when it comes to planning where to sell, even before you get that stock added into your portfolio. Okay, risk management, please. What's my overall sentiment for CLI? I am bullish on CLI, and the dominant range is closer to the intraday high than the intraday low, and that completes the presence of the 4-point criteria of CLI. Okay, the dominant range is between 5 all the way to 5.05, 5 to 5.05 in favor of the buyers. I am bullish on CLI. Next, ANI, Ani Agriculture, Agri Nurture Incorporated, Ani. It closed today at 15.04. The immediate support is at 13.88. The immediate resistance is at 15.13, followed by 16.78. 15.96 is just the midterm resistance, a precursor to 16.78. What's the conditions of our 10 SMA and MACD combo? It's still true. How about the 4-point criteria? They are all present, but let's confirm that through the trade and volume distribution chart. Yes, the 4-point criteria is present. The dominant range is between 14.96 to 14.96 to 15. I repeat, 14.96 to 15 pesos, 15 pesos per share. It's in favor of the buyer. So the 4-point criteria are present. The upward momentum is already very strong for ANI, and RSI is still far from the classical overbought level. The ascent in price is more likely to continue, and let's see if it can touch the resistance near 16 pesos or 15.96. That's 16 if we would like to round it up. Okay, I am bullish on ANI. Take a look at the volume. It's really bullish. Okay, make sure that you identify your trailing stop loss right away, even before you add that stock in your portfolio. Okay, I am bullish on ANI. Next, we have ABA, Abacor. It registered a tall red candlestick today. It closed at 1 peso per share. Support is at 0.86. You can also call 0.94 as a precursor to 0.86. The psychological resistance is at 1.34. What do I say about today's red candlestick? I think Abacor traders, those traders who have been trading Abacor, really saw something, or their interest to lock in some profits was ignited today, as can be proven by the size of today's volume. It's a sizable volume, therefore Abacor traders agreed. They came into a consensus that, okay guys, we're going to lock in some profits today. That's why we're seeing a big sell volume today. Nonetheless, the conditions of our 10 SMA and MACD combo are still true. If you have had Abacor, I suggest that you preempt your trailing stop loss. Do I see a data-driven reason to preempt your trailing stop loss? Yes, I have just blurted it out, right? So you can go ahead and preempt your trailing stop loss. What's my basis for that? The size of the volume, today's volume. Okay. Now, if you are still fine with sticking with your trailing stop loss, then go ahead and just sell once your trailing stop loss gets hit. You don't have to preempt it if you can still handle this within your tolerable risk. Do I suggest that you enter a new position to buy the dip? No, not yet. Buy the dip if and when the 4-point criteria become present on Abacor's chart. Right now, they went somewhere else. Okay, they are absent. Okay, I am bearish on Abacor for those who are planning to enter a new position. For those who have had Abacor, you should be fine as wine for as long as the price is moving above your trailing stop loss, and of course for as long as you are aware what trailing stop loss am I talking about here. Okay, all right. Next, we have PHEN. PHEN closed today at 2.45. The immediate support is at 2.29. Resistance is at 2.81. What's the condition of the 10 SMA MACD combo? Bearish. That combo has already been invalidated. How about the 4-point criteria? They are absent as well. And I am seeing a bearish convergence between the positive and the negative DMI. RSI is downward sloping. It's already in the neutral level. Okay? And based on what I see here, it's more likely, well, with respect to the size of the volume, it's more likely for the for the descent, not ascent, huh? It's more likely for the descent in price to continue. Probably it might want to test 2.30. Okay, if it breaks below 2.30, don't buy the dip yet. Wait near 2 peso per share. Okay. Let's take a look at the fence. By the way, did I show you Abacor's trade and volume distribution chart? I did not. So here's Abacor's dominant range. It's between 1 peso to 1.03. Okay, we can include the 0.97 to 1.05. That's the dominant range in favor of the sellers. That's why I don't encourage you, I don't advise the new entrants to enter a new position yet. Okay, yet. Okay, let me show you PHEN's trade and volume distribution chart. It's in favor of the sellers also. The dominant range is between 2.35 to 2.46. Don't buy the dips of PHEN yet. Take note of those price points that I mentioned. Support levels. I am bearish on PHEN. Next, we have LR. LR closed today at 3.81. It's currently touching the support level at 3.81 itself. The immediate resistance is at 4.78. Should it break below 3.8, your next support is waiting at 3.2. What's the condition of the 10 SMA and MACD combo? Absent, bearish. How about the 4-point criteria? Of course, absent as well. And the downward momentum is starting to, it's drawing closer to the very strong category, to the strong category. It's not yet there yet, but it's good. It's pointing toward that direction. RSI is moving toward the classical oversold level. Is it time to buy LR? No, not yet. You know my answer whenever you ask, is it time to buy the stock? My answer is always a question as well. And what is it? Do you see the 4-point criteria? Is the 10 SMA MACD combo true? So those two questions. If the answer to those two questions is a yes, then go ahead, do a test buy. Okay? Or top up. Now, if you're going to do a test buy for the first time, meaning to say it's the first time that you're going to add a stock in your portfolio, well, not necessarily first time, but if you are just about to enter a new position, that's what I'm trying to say, you have to calculate your reward to risk ratio first. Okay? That's an extra layer of protection, so to speak, that you need to go through before you push the buy button for test buy purposes. LR, I am bearish on LR. Okay, don't hurry, don't trade it yet. The dominant range is closer to the intraday low than the intraday high. The dominant range is between 3.8 to 3.9. Don't buy it yet. Don't buy it yet. And by now, your trailing stop loss should have already been hit since it touched the 4.8 level. Okay. Next, last but not the least, PXP. PXP closed today at 7.38. Support is at 6.78. Resistance is at 10.05. I think I also covered PXP in one of my older videos, and I said in that video that it's not yet time to buy PXP. And it's the exact same advice that I'm going to give you in this video or episode. The 10 SMA and MACD combo is absent. The 4-point criteria are absent as well. Okay, it's not yet time to trade PXP. Let it move sideways or even test the support at 6.78 if the descent in price is more likely to continue. But right now, my projection is that PXP might just continue to move sideways. Its ADX has been moving below the 25-point level for more than 30 trading days already. So obviously, you can see it here. It's been moving sideways since the first or second week of April this year to date. So this is a clear sideways pattern. It's consolidating. Don't buy yet. Don't buy yet. Again, don't buy yet. Okay? PXP. Here's the dominant range. Ta-da! It's closer to the intraday low than the intraday high. Well, obviously, it's between, the dominant range is between 7.35 to 7.5. Let me just re-emphasize that I am bearish on PXP. Okay, so you've heard my synthesis, my analysis, my assessment, my overall sentiment, and my recommendations for these 10 stocks. If you have follow-up questions, make our private clients forum as your go-to forum, go-to discussion group, not someone else's Facebook groups out there. Okay, ask in our private clients forum so that the pieces of advice that you're going to get are still aligned with the methodologies that we are applying in our investment and trade ideas here at Equilist Analytics. Okay, so if you have questions, again, ask in our private clients forum. Read the quick start guide if you don't know how to do that yet. Again, my name is JC De Guzman, and have a great trading day tomorrow. Bye for now.